Libra, this is your week ahead astrology forecast from Astrology Motivation by Born Without Boundaries. This is a video in which we review the major planetary aspects and transits and how they impact your natal sun. This is for the week of the 13th through the 19th of 2023, and what that means for your day-to-day. We're going to start out really, really broad, Libra, and then we're going to go a little bit deeper and focus mostly just on what Libras need to know, and then we'll dig into the decans. A decan is a set of 10 degrees. Every zodiac sign has 3 decans because every zodiac sign has a total of 30 degrees. And what that does for astrologers is help us really pinpoint what is impacting your natal sun in difference to what is impacting other natal suns in the same zodiac sign, because of the degrees of difference between each natal sun or groups of natal suns in the each zodiac sign, they will interact with planets in a very different way. So you can't really give one horoscope or one reading for all Libras. You really shouldn't. All astrology is based on geometry, and we have to honor the aspects or the angles that are formed between planets to understand the energies or the impact that is being generated between them. So breaking the zodiac sign down into decans really helps us do that for these kind of general readings. So you don't need to know exactly where your natal sun is located. All you need to know for this video is your birth date, because I will be translating the estimated birth dates of how the degrees or the decans correlate to estimated birth dates. So that's all you need to know. But if you want to dive deep into the astrology, please get your natal chart so that you'll know exactly where your natal sun is located, so you'll know where everything is located. It is the best way to start really studying astrology. It's where all astrologers begin, with their own natal chart, and I wish you well on that journey. It's free. Just go to any search engine, free natal chart, and a bunch of websites pop up. All you need is your birth date, your birth time, and your birth location. So let's start with the really big stuff. This week, Libra, there is a new moon in Gemini, which will be, at least for some of you, trine to specific Libras, since Gemini is in a natural trine to the zodiac sign of Libra, both of you being air signs. This is a new moon that's happening on the 17th, and it is a bit complicated by the fact that it is square to Neptune and semi-square to Venus. This could almost be revelation of deceptive energy, information that comes in, or realization that we've sort of been fooling ourselves, especially when we talk to others and in communication having these revelations. But it is a good time for that information to be realized, for us to really understand our friendships, solidify our friendships, or perhaps make new ones. Another thing that's happening this week that's pretty big is that Saturn goes into retrograde on the 17th as well. So things are really starting to slow down. Pluto's in retrograde, Saturn's in retrograde. You can bet your whatever you want to bet. Neptune is going to go in retrograde soon, and so is Uranus. This happens, at least since I've been alive, it happens every summer in the northern hemisphere. I know in the southern hemisphere it's not summer, but it happens around the same time all the time. So there is a natural slowing down around this time, which we should welcome in. And I think in the northern hemisphere especially, we are very lucky that this natural slowing down with all the large planets going into retrograde actually happens in our summertime, because it is when we are allowed to have work slow down, or a lot of us go on longer vacations. Not maybe the whole summer. Fantastic if you can, but maybe not the whole summer. But ultimately, we do get opportunities to sort of just reflect, be more reflective, go more internal, and just enjoy, the pleasure of the atmosphere and the moment. This is a time, this is what the retrogrades are asking us to do. So we do have a few other things happening this week that are important. Mercury is going to be sextile to Venus, which is an exceptional energy for eloquence of speech, eloquence of communication, really being able to get yourself across very accurately, and people wanting to listen to you. It could even mean romantic conversations. We also have a sextile between Jupiter and Saturn that is formed, which is hugely advantageous when it comes to opportunities in work, expanding your work, getting jobs, for even like laws and rules and regulations sort of expanding and growing outside of, or going outside of, not outside of the law, but it's bigger than that. It's beyond that. So there is just opportunities opening up. It's one of the most advantageous energies in the zodiac or in astrology. So this is a really beautiful time. We also have a conjunction starting on the 17th between Venus and Mars. I only count my conjunctions within about 5 degrees. So I know some people think it's already happening. I don't really think the energy is that strong until it's within at least 5 degrees of each other. And it will be between the 16th and 17th when they are actually within 5 degrees of each other. This is happening in Leo, which rules romance. So it could very well be a coming together of the divine feminine, divine masculine, just these energies coming together in ourselves and outside of ourselves. This energy of sensuality, virility, lots of sexuality and sensual pleasures. Definitely a real kickoff to a romantic summer. Just an FYI. Let's get into what the square on the new moon means. The square to Neptune between the moon and the Neptune is very deceptive and very illusionary. It could be even self-deceptive. So the ways that we have sort of deceived ourselves or believed illusions are going to be challenged, and maybe even through this semi-square to Venus that's conjunct Mars, a sense of when something real happens, we kind of get the kick in the butt of why we should have waited, why we should not have settled, or why we have been self-deceiving in those ways. And that, I think, will be some real interesting revelations and real interesting lessons. Since this moon is in Gemini, it is about learning. So it is about learning maybe truths or realities that help us change our mind about things or see opportunities beyond what we've settled for. Just an FYI. So let's talk specific Libra, okay? Venus is your ruling dignitary, and then the zodiac sign of Libra. So we'll talk about those things real quick. The zodiac sign of Libra has nothing really going on in it. It's got no major impact that's happening, no major planets. I think the South Node will will move into Libra by July, but it isn't there now. It's at 2 degrees Scorpio still. So maybe those Libras on the Scorpio Libra cusp will be already feeling a conjunction with the South Node, which will bring ease and acceptance into your own talents and peace when it comes to where you were born or the things that you've been through in life. Just an easement of those, an acceptance of those things so that you can start moving forward. But ultimately, there's really not much going on in the zodiac sign of Libra right now. There's not planets or planetoids in the zodiac sign of Libra right now. But we do have Venus, your ruling dignitary. And you should always know what's going on with your ruling dignitary, because it'll sort of color the backdrop of everything that's going on in your life. So right now Venus is in Leo, which is a very loyal but intensely I need attention now kind of energy. It is very romantic, and it is very almost show-offy in some ways. It can be also very spendthrifty. We have a conjunction to Mars starting the 17th, which will add a whole huge buttload of energy and virility and sexual desire to the mix of your life. We also have a trine to Chiron, which will happen because Mars is trine Chiron, so Venus will eventually get there. This means healing. This means healing and catharsis and harmony with the traumas and the struggles and pains of the past. We also have a square to Jupiter, which will eventually end this week, but it means exaggeration and drama and excess, but it could just mean everything is bigger now and more. It's like, it just feels like it's so that much more important. We also have a semi-square to the sun between Venus, which means there could be some frustrations or stubbornnesses when it comes, like a stubbornness when it comes to how we see ourselves, what we feel, or what, like who we are. What does that mean? Or maybe even, now that means also because Venus is semi-square to the new moon as well, because new moon is the moon conjunct the sun in the third decan of Gemini. So ultimately this can impact you just because you kind of have to face what you've been stubborn about and maybe kick it out of your head. But then we also have that sextile to Mercury, which is very helpful and will help us articulate ourselves very well. So let's get into the decans. Now, if your natal sun is between 0 and 9 degrees Libra, you are Libra 1 because your natal sun is in the first decan of Libra. This usually correlates to September Libras. Those of you who are born between, say, September 22nd and the 30th. Right? Or maybe even in some cases the 1st of October. So it's about the first 10 days of Libra season. That's you guys, definitely Virgo cuspers. Your natal suns would be the ones your natal suns are sextile to Venus, at least through the 16th. Your natal suns are sextile to Venus. If you are September 30th Virgos, it'll be sextile to Venus all week. What does this mean? Especially with the conjunction to Mars, this is romance and sexuality and sensuality and horniness and just real sensual. So especially if you are in a relationship, this is really lovey-dovey energy and you'll need a lot of physical affection and attention and you'll have a lot of opportunities for it. If you guys aren't, this is a great time to flirt. This is a great time to go get laid. This is a great time to open up those doors of your sensuality and really enjoy yourself, as well as just having people find you very attractive without you having to try that hard. Okay, always love that. There is a quincunx to the North Node in Jupiter. So that could just be frustration when it comes to moving and expanding forward. That has been going on for a while, just an FYI. And then we have a quincunx to Saturn, which means frustration with work frustrations. And then we have a trine to Pluto, especially if you're at the Virgo cusp. Trine to Pluto is metamorphosis, and it's been going on for a while. So it'll be going on for another year or so for you guys. So this is about really spreading your wings and coming out of your cocoon. And there can be a lot of butting heads when it comes to Saturn and the North Node because people aren't ready to grow in your direction. But it doesn't matter because you're ready to grow in your direction. And this is a real time to really find your strength and forget about what's going on the outside of you and just have faith and proceed with faith in what you know internally is the right direction for you to go. Now, Libra 2s. We have the Libra 2s are if your natal sun is between 10 and 19 degrees Libra. This usually correlates to, say, the 1st through the 11th of October for Libra birthdays. You guys are in an opposition to Chiron, but especially if you're born more toward the 10th or 11th. Those of you born earlier in the second decan of Libra are starting to feel this drop away, so not so much damage control when it comes to fighting through those traumas or even physical injuries. We have a sextile to Mars all week long. We have a sextile to Venus, especially as of the 17th. For the 1st and 2nd of October, those of you with the birthdays around the 1st and 2nd, which means most of the week, there is a sextile to Venus. So this sextile to Venus and Mars mean lots of opportunity for sensuality, sexuality, high sex drive, and really going hard romantically. It can even make you take more financial risks, in which case, if you do, opportunities will open up this week. Not always, but this week. The sextile to the Venus-Mars conjunction we've already discussed, but you are squared to the new moon on the 17th. frustrating or an emotional day. A frustrating, emotional day on the 19th. Oh, I specifically say, so maybe it's not specifically the new moon. Hold on. I specifically say the 19th here. So that's a couple of days after, toward the end of the week. But that will make it an especially emotional new moon for you. It'll make you confront a lot of stuff that is intentionally trying to challenge you, to make you stronger and make you see things that maybe you've ignored. But it can be a particularly emotional day on the 19th. FYI. Okay, now we have Virgo. Wait. No, now we have Virgo 3s. Virgo 3s. If your natal sun is between, 20 and 29 degrees. I'm not Virgo. I'm sorry, Libra 3s. I apologize. I'm a little bit distracted. I'm not in my natural habitat. So Libra 3s. If your natal sun is between 20 and 29 degrees Libra, you are Libra 3s. This usually correlates to those of you with birthdays October 11th through the 21st. That's Libra 3s. So you guys have a trine to Mercury, which is always really nice energy to give presentations or go on interviews, take tests. Your mind is clear, you're articulate, and there's harmony when it comes to intelligence or information or even just education. It's like aha moments. Wonderful. We also have, if you are born around the 9th or 10th or maybe the 11th, a quincunx to Uranus. So curveballs that keep coming up in your life, and they have been for a while, especially when it comes to tech. Though with a trine to Mercury, it could give you some insight into what's been going on. So that's a relief. You are conjunct to the South Node already if you are Scorpio cusp. So this is maybe the 20th, 21st birthdays, October 20th, 21st. You guys are already conjunct the South Node, which means acceptance of who you are, where you come from, and what your talents are. Sort of being in that comfort zone of really getting comfortable with your beginnings. There's a square to Pluto, which has been long term. This week you'll feel it, or you would have felt it last week, especially because Pluto did retrograde back into Capricorn. Any kind of move you'll feel intensely, and that could have caused a lot of frustrations or challenges, especially at work. You could have seen that dynamic changes started to happen. If you were born around the 11th or 12th, you guys are already in opposition to Chiron. And this means challenges from past trauma that are frustrating you and really making you question your own self-worth. This is just a catharsis period for you that you're going to have to start going through. It'll last a couple of years, but it is going to force you to face those traumas and try to learn and grow from them. FYI. We have a trine to the sun, and during the new moon, your natal suns will be trine to this new moon. So all week long, you'll be trine to the sun, which does help out and give you confidence and tries to help you sort of find harmony in your own sense of who you are. And then, and be comfortable with people seeing you. But the new moon, it means like information that you kind of needed, conversations that you needed, information that will help you understand different things that had confused you or frustrated you. So this could be a beautiful time to really let yourself talk and open yourself up to new information, especially around the 16th, 17th, 18th of this week. Let me know down below in your own words how you find this energy impacting your lives, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel. I am trying to grow the viewership and the subscribers. My goal is to reach 10,000 subscribers by the end of the summer, and I think we can do it. And then once you've subscribed and liked this video, come on over to Born Without Boundaries, where you can find your week ahead tarot card reading. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you next week. Bye, Libra.